Welcome to the Avert podcast, where we talk with some of the most creative people within North Texas and beyond. I'm your host, Michael Gibson Jr. This episode's guest is Maddy Lea. She is a 9-year-old up-and-coming actress from Fort Worth, Texas. She has been in various performing arts since the age of 5. Maddy Lea has been featured in several SAG-eligible projects, including one of the current nationwide Great Wolf Lodge commercials. She has also acted in community theater as well as numerous independent films within the last few years. When Maddy Lea is not performing in film and television projects, she is also making a name for herself as a professional cosplayer within the DFW area. She was a featured guest at an annual FanExpo in Dallas, Texas. Maddy Lea is also an accomplished dancer and model in both print and runway. Maddy Lea's aspirations continue to grow every day, and she one day dreams of starring in a full-feature horror film. Maddy plays the titular character of a film called Allura that I co-wrote along with my friend Nicholas Mothersbaugh, who happened to also direct. The story is about a single mother who is training as a NASA astronaut to potentially go and visit a new planet that has been discovered within the Goldilocks zone of a star. The conflict arises in that she has to make a choice in going on the mission of a lifetime versus the love of her daughter that she would potentially have to leave behind. It's an amazing story, and I hope you come check it out. The film has been selected into the 2019 Denton Black Film Festival. The world premiere is on Saturday, January 26th, 2019 at 6:15 p.m. at the Campus Theater in Denton, Texas. We'll have a link at www.avertyoureyespod.com so you can see the trailer we released as well as get tickets to the screening. During our conversation, I talk with Maddy Lea and her parents, Tammy and Daryl, about Maddy's acting, cosplay, dancing, and so much more on episode 39 of the Avert Your Eyes podcast. Consider yourself warned. Y'all are the parents of Maddy, and Maddy was in our movie Allura.
See.
And she plays Allura. What do you think about acting in the project?
I was amazed how good it was. And it was beautiful, and I loved it.
Well, you haven't seen all of it yet. You saw about the first 2 minutes in the trailer.
It's amazing now, still.
What was your favorite part about acting in it?
My favorite part was being in the field with my mom, and it was fun.
Except for the chiggers.
Yeah, we were out there running around in the heat and tall grass, and we were all itchy.
For days.
Yeah, it was rough, but it was worth it.
Yeah, it ended up turning out really beautiful. So I know before y'all worked on Allura with us that Maddy had got into a commercial, a rather big commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I want to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, I was in a Great Wolf Lodge commercial, and I loved it. It was amazing. But the one thing I didn't like about it is looking up at the ceiling for like an hour or two. I was like, okay, can we stop now? I've been looking up here. We had to shoot it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I was like... So, it was very fun. I like to be with other people. I made a lot of friends, so yeah.
Very cool. Well, what was the audition process like for you for that?
It was good. It was a little hard to do, but it was good.
What'd they have you do?
They had to, like, tell us to do stuff, and, like, if you messed up, then you had to do, like, 20 push-ups. They made us do 10 push-ups if you messed up.
Oh. Okay.
It was hard.
Actually, she auditioned as an extra. It was an open call. There were a ton. went into audition
1,650 kids.
Wow.
as an extra for the shoot, mainly just to get a free day at Great Wolf Lodge. And they called her back and offered her the principal role in their 60-second, which has been broken down into 60, 30, and 15s.
And we were in shock. To be honest with you, we were in shock.
And then to see not only that, but then you were also in Collateral, so you were online on billboards and stuff. What was that like to see yourself on a billboard?
I was like, that's me. Wow.
It was actually a side of a building.
I'm going to
Downtown
Hollywood.
Chicago.
Downtown Chicago is the whole side of the building.
I was like, I'm going to Hollywood, folks. Bye.
And you just recently had a birthday. How old are you now?
I am 9.
You are 9. People have gone their whole lives wanting to be on television. So where do you go from here?
I don't know.
You can tell them what else you do.
You can tell them your dream.
I dream to be in a horror film.
Ooh.
I've been dreaming and dreaming and dreaming about horror films for like my whole life now. I just wanted to be in one. And like just watching horror films, I'm like, I want to be on one. Let's call up haunted houses. And, hello, can I be in a horror movie? Okay, no. So, no.
Now, do you want to be in a short film horror movie?
No, I want to be in a movie.
In a feature. So you say you watch a bunch of horror movies. Like, what are some of your favorites?
My favorite is It.
It. And I see that you do a lot of cosplay too, and or Pennywise as well. You have a lot of fun doing cosplaying?
Yes, and yes.
And she is the only 9-year-old professional cosplayer that has the title professional cosplayer in the United States.
Very nice.
So I'm very proud of that.
What's your favorite part about going to the conventions and doing all the cosplay?
To me, people, and like, my favorite thing is like meeting people and seeing new people and making more friends. That's what I love about it.
Who are some of your favorite actors that you've met out there?
My favorite actors were Georgie from It.
Jackson Robert Scott, she met. And who else was your favorite?
He was Freddy Krueger.
She got to sing with Robert Englund.
Yeah.
Yes. They sang the 1-2 Freddy's Coming for You together. When she was 5. It was
Yes.
He was shocked that she knew the entire song at 5.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
But the one thing I watched, like, maybe 30 minutes of the movie, and I got scared, and I went in my room and watched a happy movie while they were watching scaredy, creepy movies, and then my parents were like, "We're watching Freddy Krueger." I said, "No."
She will not watch Freddy Krueger. She loves the man that she met.
I will have nightmares of Freddy Krueger if I literally watch it.
It's just funny. I grew up watching all that Freddy, Jason. None of that stuff bothered me. Now I know you can't. You get scared watching Freddy, but are there things that scare you? Like, what scares you?
Nothing except Freddy Krueger.
And thunderstorms.
Yes, thunderstorms are my biggest fear. I just don't like it.
Not a lot of people like thunderstorms.
When I was 5, the power went out one time in a thunderstorm, and my dad couldn't find a flashlight, and I was left alone crying. And then when the power came out, I was shocked, and I was so scared. And now till this day, I'm still scared of thunderstorms. Like, literally, every time I hear thunder, I run to the bathroom, lock the door, and be like, "Okay, I'm okay. Let's go back to my room." Or I run into the parents' room.
Now, I see here you have a lot of pets here.
Yes.
How many pets do you have?
I have... Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4... 5 dogs. 3 ducks.
3 ducks?
Mm-hmm.
Ducks.
Are they still like the small ones, or are they full grown?
There's 2 full grown, and then I have a baby duck.
Aw.
My friend found it in the IHOP parking lot, so and brought it over here, so we have more ducks.
No joke. It was running around.
So what's his name
the
since
IHOP
he was
parking
found at IHOP parking lot?
So his name is Pancake because he was named in IHOP, so his name is Pancake.
It's a good name for a dog.
And then you have how many cats?
You
have 3 cats.
3 cats, but my sister's is over, so we have 4 right now. So, yeah.
And?
Bravo. And then I have my bird Salem.
What kind of bird is he?
He's a condor.
Carnivore. Yeah. So pretty. And my favorite animal is my demon dog.
What makes him a demon dog?
He will hurt you. Like, he will bite you, chew everything in this house. Like, if you see right there, that's all him.
He's about 6 months old, so.
Oh.
He's a baby.
He's a
What's his
baby.
name?
His name is Archie from Riverdale.
Did you ever watch Archie? Have you seen Archie?
Yes, I have saw Riverdale. I have saw all of them. Oh, hi, Pinks.
And what's your cat's name, since
My
it is your
cat's-
favorite movie?
My cat's name is Georgie.
Ah.
He's so cute.
You know, I saw the original It, but I haven't seen the newest one yet. I will rectify that soon.
Oh my god.
I'm very busy.
I watched the one It, and then the new one, and now I'm watching the other one. It's new. It's coming out. It's too.
Coming out next
It's it too?
next October.
Now, before you got into acting, what was it that you wanted to be when you grew up?
A movie star.
Really, it's always been acting? Was there an actor that made you, or a movie that you saw that you were like, I want to do that?
Yes, there was actually. I forgot what it was, but like it was.
Is it the horror movie you watched when you were 2 for a year straight?
Was it like Conjuring?
When a Stranger Calls?
Stranger Calls.
I don't
While
think I've
most
seen that
kids
one.
are watching Barney
That was the
or
movie she wanted to watch.
the Disney Channel, Maddie watched When a Stranger Calls every night before she went to bed from the time she was
Me
2
and my
till she was
sister,
3.
when I was like, she was like, what do you want to watch? I'm like, Stranger Calls. And she was like, let me go find the nest then. So we sit, rewinding it all day, watching Stranger Calls. Yeah.
That was her nighttime movie at 2 and 3.
I loved it. That was my love.
It went from Barney to the Stranger Calls.
And Papa Pig.
It was Peppa
Peppa Pig.
You
Pig.
can't forget about Papa Pig.
Yeah.
No, I will never forget about Peppa Pig.
I have a story of Papa Pig.
What is it?
So I was watching one of Papa Pig, and she was like, I have an ear infection. So I cried and acted like I had an ear infection, and we made it to the doctor, and he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, Papa Pig had an ear infection. And he was like,
You don't.
We seriously got in there. You would think her eardrums were falling out. And she was crying that hard and acting that well. And then when we get in there, he goes, well, darling, there's nothing wrong with your ears. And she goes, well, Peppa Pig had ear infection. I didn't know what to say. I mean, I really didn't. I couldn't get mad.
Right.
But I was just like, I'm calling the creators of Peppa Pig, and we're going to have a discussion about this one.
She even had the doctors convinced
Oh, yeah.
that she was in pain.
Oh,
I was crying. Like, in the car, I, like, nailed myself. Like, you know, like, when you, like, do this, I nailed myself so I would just start crying again. So I was like, okay, yeah. Start crying, and I was like...
That was one I will never forget.
That's going to be in our life forever.
Yes, it will.
How did you start acting?
I started acting when I was 5. So, we went to Six Flags and I was dressed up in my scary makeup and stuff. And, like, this guy pulled me up and he was like, you should act with me. I was like, okay. So, we act together almost until closing. And then he talked to you and stuff. And, like, he wanted me to come every Fright Fest until he left Fright Fest. So.
Wow.
And you acted as his zombie daughter. And then the next following year, you got a job doing what? Working at the haunted house.
I did haunted house when I was 5. It was called Strangling Brothers. And it closed, and I was sad about that. Like, super sad, because, like, that was, like, my haunt family. Like, they were, like, a family to me. So, like, when I heard they were closing, I was like, really? And I got so sad, and I was like, okay, this is the last night. Gotta make this your best night. So, I made a girl pee. That night. So, yeah.
How many people could say that?
And one of the most funniest things where I was tired. And I fell asleep in one of the haunt chairs. And they thought I was a doll. So they were taking pictures with me and stuff. And, like, I woke up, and this girl was taking a picture of me, and I looked over, and I went, rah! And she ran. I still miss that.
What sort of stuff makes you laugh?
My parents.
How so?
Huh?
How so?
Because every time my sister's over, my mom is, like, funny, and my dad's funny. And, like, when she leaves, she's so funny. Like, funny. Like, she will literally walk in my room. Wake up! With the water bottle.
And she'll spray you?
It makes me laugh. That's one of my most things that makes me laugh. Is my parents.
And scaring people really bad at the haunted house.
Yeah.
What do you feel acting has taught you?
To be out of my shell. Because I used to be, like, I couldn't even go to school. Like, I couldn't be, like, next to my parents. I had to be next to my parents the whole time. Because every time I went to school, I would cry and puke and stuff. And I wouldn't talk at all and all the stuff. And then, like, when I started acting, I was, like, out of my shell. I was like, okay, I can get out. I know these people now. And, like, now I'm, like, out of my shell. Like, I'm literally talking to people I don't know sometimes. Like, I go on the side of the road if I'm walking, I'd be like, hello! Like, I went to Taco Bell, and I waved at people while they were driving through the driveway. I was like, hello! So, don't be afraid to do anything.
How do you define success?
I don't know, I'm only 9. That's so funny.
True.
Yeah, it works.
Are y'all originally from here?
Yes. I am.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in Arlington.
Fort Worth.
Being parents of a child actor, just what is that experience like? And
it's called patience. That's the best way I can describe it.
A lot of patience dealing with an overly dramatic child. Maddie's been driven from the time she could talk. She knew exactly what she wanted to do from the time she was 5 years old. And as parents, it means never getting a moment to yourself, endless car rides constantly. I do all of her costumes for her cosplay, so
nice.
I'm working on that.
You do very good
time.
job.
Thank you.
Very good work.
Thank you. So I do all the costuming for her cosplay, and all of her merchandise. Maddie has T-shirts and things like that she sells at her conventions, and it's just, thankfully we're in a position where we were both at home. We homeschool her for hours reasons, so that her school schedule is flexible with her acting schedule. But literally, I would say 5 out of the 7 days of the week, we're either driving her somewhere, taking her to auditions, doing photo shoots, doing preparation for, conventions and things like that. So it's a lot. It's a lot. We have a lot of parents come and ask us, how do we get our kids into it? I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
Well, what was it that made y'all initially start?
When Maddie was born, she's actually our only together, but I have 4 others from a previous marriage. She's my youngest, and when she was born, she was a bit premature. She took extra care, and being my last one, I'll admit we spoiled her. We didn't let her out of our sight. She was never with a babysitter. We took her everywhere with us.
Always being the overprotective parents at the time.
When it was time for her to go to school, she had social anxiety so bad from never being left with anyone that when we'd leave her at school for the first 3 or 4 months of school, she cried all day and threw up every day before she went to school.
And on top of that, she was getting picked on because of what she did in the haunt business during haunt season. Because she would tell the kids, hey, I work at a haunted house and stuff like that. Well, you know how kids can be.
Yeah.
So I get a call that she's got her nose broke from a child that kicked her, in the face. Well, we went through that situation and we took care of that situation. The next situation came along, she was hurt again. So how can I explain this?
We felt it in her best interest, being that she's always been different. She's always been independent. The haircut she has in the movie was the haircut that she wanted for her 5th birthday, right before she started school. And she wanted it colored hot pink. So when she started kindergarten, she had a shaved side and hot pink hair and worked at a haunted house. So immediately she was different from everybody else in the school. And we talked about it, and she loved doing the haunted houses so much. And we saw that when she was in the haunt makeup, she was an entirely different person. She was outgoing. She was engaging. She would, go out and scare people on her own. And we decided it was in her best interest to pull her out and homeschool her and let her pursue, at that time, it was her haunt career. Yeah. And the next year she worked at the haunt again, but outside of makeup, she was still the same kid. She wouldn't talk to anybody. Yes. She'd hide behind Daddy's leg. Mm-hmm. We started with her and doing Fright Fest. She got to know the kids that worked in the entertainment at Six Flags. And over the summer, one of the boys in the show that she kind of had her first crush on came off the stage, grabbed her out of makeup, and made her come up, pulled her up on the stage to dance with him. as soon as she got up there and did it, and people cheered for her, that's all it took. It's like a drug for her. It really is. It's like a drug.
The more people,
the more she performs, the more she'll put on. Yes. Yeah. So that's how she started. And, we've just let her do what she does. She has a great attitude about it. Mm-hmm. When she does the cosplay events, especially for the kids, she does a lot of charity events for underprivileged kids, for cook children's and things like that. She just lights up when she's around them as much as they light up to see, their favorite characters. Yeah. And we've pretty much chosen to, let her pursue her dream.
And then, also she's a hip-hop dancer. So, from her being in the haunt world, haunted houses and stuff, she met her hip-hop teacher, that's, her current hip-hop teacher, at Strangling Brothers. So what that did for her, he had her come up on the stage as well. And she was in makeup, and she would do her thing. She learned Thriller after watching it twice, and that's how he noticed her. And then ever since then, she does hip-hop off the side, too. So she's a very talented child.
Yeah.
Very diverse in everything.
Obviously, yes.
And she wears us out.
And she what?
Wears
you out.
Yeah.
Wears us out.
If you have a child that bounces off the walls, acting, dancing, get them into something that's, high strung, because that's where, their mentality is. It's fast paced. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go.
But back on the subject of, getting your kids into it, what's involved.
Yeah.
Your kids are going to sleep because as a mom, you want them to be rested. When they go to auditions or to act, you want them not to be bratty because they're tired. So, mom's the one up at 4:30 a.m. when we don't have to be in audition till 1 in the afternoon because I have to get everything prepared, get the clothes prepared, make sure everything's there and ready before you even get them up and do it. It's a lot of sacrifice.
There's a lot to it. And, having a child, a 9-year-old child, especially a girl, as a dad, you really have to watch your child. In these big events, the more and more her popularity grows, the more and more I've got to be heightened. So as a parent, I would say, you really have to, you always watch your kids, but if they get into this business, they have to, really, really watch your kids. I mean, it's just not like, hey, go play over there at the park and we'll sit over here. No, that's all out of the question now.
Right.
Because it only takes one person that goes, I know that girl. That's it.
Yeah.
So there is pros and cons to this, and if any of it is, that's the biggest one, having a child in this business, because you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
And, you always have to be around your children.
And,
anywhere, just but like I said, as popularity grows, it's nerve-wracking for me. Mama, don't worry about it as much because I take care of that. That's my job, She can take care of all the, dressing up and everything, but I got to take care of that. That's my priority in this.
That and the crazy schedule.
Yeah.
You'll get a phone call at 8 o'clock at night. Can you be in Austin by 2 tomorrow for an audition? Drive 3.5 hours to Austin for a 5-minute audition, 3.5 hours home, and you never hear from them again.
But I mean, you should live for your kids.
It's just the business.
Yeah. And that's what we do. We live for our child. And that's just what we decided to do. There's no partying, going out, stuff like that. It's all about the kid.
She's doing great. We're really proud of her.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's 9 years old. She's done what?
She's done
3 big conventions as a cosplayer. She's done 3 commercials, 1 national. She's done some musical theater. She was just featured on Houston Family Magazine's cover in one of her cosplays. And
wow.
She's, looking at 2 other short films to shoot this spring. So she's doing really well. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get her that horror movie.
Yeah, it's got to be a big screen horror movie. She don't want nothing else. Because she's had all the opportunities in the world to do short films and stuff. But I'll ask her, and I ask my kid. I don't want to make my kid do anything. Right. So I asked my kid, hey, is this something you would like to do? She tells me, no, we're not doing it. So she's holding out for that A horror film. She wants to see herself on that big screen. So that is her dream.
So if somebody sees that or sees any of the other things that she's been in, hopefully they'll reach out to y'all.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Make a little girl's dream come true. We're just here for the ride,
Remake of Firestarter.
We drive her around.
We want the remake of Firestarter.
Oh, wow.
That'd be awesome. She looks like a little Drew Barrymore.
Are there anything that you as parents that has surprised y'all about this whole process of her acting?
I will tell you exactly
other parents and how they look at your child when you walk in. It's, we're very supportive people. We support people.
Yeah.
And you bring in it's horrible.
The hate.
It's the looks that they give your children. The adults, it's not the kids. And it's how hard some of these parents are on their children.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking walking out at audition and their parents are yelling at them because they didn't do it like they were supposed to do it, like the parent wanted them to do it. Well, it shouldn't be that way. It's about your kid. Like I tell my daughter, you walk in the audition, she asks me, Daddy, what should I do? I don't know, baby. This is your talent, not mine. Go be yourself. Have a good time. You don't get it. You don't get it. There's more out there. So it's just I think that's the biggest one is the hate that a child gets in this kind of business, any business. It's just, and
the cosplay is worse.
I just don't know.
The cosplay is worse with the hate and the judgment than anything else because everybody has an opinion about every cosplay that's done. Mm-hmm. Her most iconic Pennywise that she loves, she wanted to do that. I've had hateful messages sent to her, about what kind of mother do you have that would let you dress up as a child-eating cannibal clown? Just hateful things that shouldn't even be said to an adult, much less a 9-year-old. Maddie's big into the cosplaying against bullying.
Yes.
She's very big on, one of her slogans is don't just dream it, be it. Saying that, you can be whatever you want to be.
Right.
Be whatever you want to be. If you want to dress up as a cannibal clown, dress up as a cannibal clown. This weekend she was Belle from Beauty and the Beast, which is the total opposite spectrum of what she was. But she's very much into supporting other kids. She tries to make friends, every movie set, even the auditions. She'll, try to play with the kids. Unfortunately, some of the parents won't let that happen, which is very sad. You put a group of 15 same-age girls in the room, and to have some of the moms have the kids sit there with their arms and legs crossed and not communicate with anybody else is just mean.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kids.
And it's not all the parents.
Not
Don't
all
get
of
me
them,
wrong what I'm saying.
but there are those.
It's rough on these kids.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah. I mean, let them be kids, and that's one of our things. Let her be kid. When she's not acting, or working, she's playing Xbox or riding a hoverboard around the neighborhood.
This is what I tell my daughter. If this is what you want to do, we're here to do a job. Now, if you're not going to do what you're supposed to do, it's time to go. It don't matter what we was on. It could have been on the Great Wolf Lodge commercial.
Yeah.
If she wasn't doing, because she should know, this is what she wants to do. Okay, you set the guidelines. Okay, you're here to do a job. So if you're not doing it, we're going home.
Right.
And I think, parents have got to understand that. And I think a lot of parents look at the money of it. Because I've got it several times. Well, how much does she make? It doesn't matter. It's not about the money. She can worry about
you don't make that much money.
You're out more, but that's not the thing. But, and then we've also had parents and some people talking in some communities that we lived through our daughter. And it's the question, how can you live through your daughter when you're doing everything for your daughter? You know what I mean?
As it should be as a parent.
And a parent.
As it should be.
But the bad thing is when your child is gifted and she is doing a lot of things, you get that all the time. You get that even on the parents being hated on. Going, hey, you live through your daughter, or hey, you're living off your daughter, and stuff like that. And I don't know if it's jealousy or just purely hatred. I can't figure it out yet. But I will. Well, and that's hard for us to hear. And when it's said in the company of my daughter, it's harder for her to hear. So it's there's a lot to this.
It's real hard for Mom to hear.
Yeah.
Because, Mom makes all the costumes. Mom does all the hair. Mom does all the makeup. Mom prepares everything to go to the conventions for 3 days. Prepares the house. Drives. Does,
drive?
Well, drives her around.
You drive? You really
It's a lot of work that unless she really wanted to do it, I would not do it.
Right.
I would not do it. So.
But it's hard on the parents.
It's a lot.
Let's talk about the movie.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like, what was...
You only let me see 30 seconds of it. I can't really
I know,
talk about it.
Well, you've seen the trailer.
Yes.
You saw the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Yes, yeah.
We saw it being made, though.
Yes, we did. But we still, even to right now, you kind of put it, we're still in suspense.
Yeah.
We really are. I mean, it's been, a year and a half now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're just
we
in
saw it
total
in
suspense.
pieces.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to a little less than 3 weeks.
Am I going to cry ugly?
You're going to ugly cry.
I think there's not going to be a dry eye in the whole theater.
That's kind of what I'm hoping.
I mean...
that would... that's part of the reason why we wanted to do the movie, was that both Nick and I, when we wrote it, we wanted something that was going to be impactful, but then you always constantly hear that idea of, there's not a lot of stories that are centered around women, especially from the male creators.
Strong women.
Exactly.
Yeah,
strong female-led stories. So that was one of the reasons why we wanted to make this movie, was to, let's challenge ourselves to see what we could come up with. And we saw this, we did the script and we're like, okay, this is pretty good. This is pretty decent. But then to have, people like Maddy and Lauren bring it to life and see it in a whole other, level. I'm so excited for y'all to see this.
I'm excited for y'all too. I mean, this is a team thing that we did, it's just amazing.
You'll probably cut this out, but the best part of filming, I must say, was seeing the big, burly black man brought to tears by my 8-year-old daughter.
It was ugly crying too.
It was like there was a scene.
I mean, all of us was in there, had tears in our eyes after that.
Yeah, and in particular, I can talk about this, but there was a scene that we were shooting at the home in the kitchen, and the movie itself doesn't have any dialogue, but the director, Nick, pulled Maddy aside and had her say some stuff to Lauren, who plays her mother. And it almost made me wish that we had dialogue in the movie to catch that moment, because literally everybody in the room, I'm behind the camera, I got literal actual goosebumps, my spine straightened up. I'm like, I'm seeing this moment, this pop in this child who, a child can really make or break any movie. They tell you not to work with children or animals, but, oh my God, Maddy came in and she hit that scene so hard. And, I'm crying behind the camera. Y'all were in the living room, the people who, let us borrow own the home and let us borrow their house for as long as we were out there filming, their cry,
because it was real. It was real emotion.
Yeah.
It was not acting. All that was real, just raw emotion.
Even after Nick said cut, there was at least a minute and a half of complete silence in that room for everybody just to take a minute and let it compute, what had just happened, what she had just said. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was
crazy. That had to be the best moment.
Yeah.
I'll
never forget
remember
that.
the shooting.
'Cause that was just raw. She laid it on the table right there for everybody. It was.
Yeah, I think that was probably the most. There's 2 points in the whole filmmaking process, and that's gonna be one of the top 2 for me personally.
Yeah.
Making it was being in that room.
That's
at
number
that
one
time.
for me.
Yeah.
Because for me, looking in, I'm thinking, this is my daughter. It's something she could say to me later down the road. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you have children and watch it, you would understand.
The thing too is Lauren, who played her mom, isn't a mom.
Oh,
so, Maddy actually brought out the mom, in her in the film is what made it so, it just made it so heart-wrenching, to see that she did a great job. I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of this film. It's beautiful. Y'all made her look beautiful.
Yes, she did.
Well, it was the two of y'all though. Y'all made her. Well, we had to use what we had. So.
Y'all enhanced her. Yes. Yeah, the shots are beautiful. It's a really pretty one. I can't wait to see it.
Yes. Yeah, y'all did wonderful on that one. And I'm glad I looked on Facebook.
Yes.
I was at Six Flags and scrolling through my phone and it popped up. I was like, you got to email them. You got to talk to them. So, and I'm really glad.
And then it's history.
Yeah. I guess kind of as we wrap up, do you have any last thoughts that you want to impart?
We could go on and on and on.
I know we could.
I mean, really, there's just so much. With the film,
Can't wait to see it.
It's going to be just speech.
Yes, cannot wait.
I mean, I've got that feeling. I really do. It's just one of those. And it's not like, because my daughter's in the film. My daughter couldn't have been in this film, and it still would get to me. So I think it's just, you're right on the money with this.
And anybody coming to watch, I will bring boxes of Kleenex.
The little bitty ones, we just pass them out as we go.
We'll pass them out as party favors. Here you go.
Put them at the row.
Yeah, I put them right around the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think about it?
I absolutely love it. I've done... this has been kind of a departure for me because I've been always known for doing comedy, just being silly, big, goofy, and stuff. And I did a organized crime film, sort of a gangster movie in college. That was my senior year film. But, and I was proud of that one when it happened. But this one, it just hits me a certain way.
It just feels right, though.
Yeah.
It really does. It just feels right. Yeah.
Yeah, just everything from writing it to, giving it over to Nick. Cause it was just we wrote this thing. It's okay, we have these, these ideas. Let's see what we can do with this. But then seeing them act it out, brought it to a certain height. And then when we got the special effects done and layered that on top of that brought it to a whole other level. And I'm just excited. I can't wait for people to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of one of those, I'm ready to watch it.
Yeah. And then it's been also interesting too. I've been to film festivals. I've been, I've had some of my stuff screened. I've been, on the working side of film festivals, but this is going to be, my first time on the other side actually having something in it. And I'm really excited to see, how everybody takes to it. I kind of want to, keep an eye on Maddy and see how she takes in.
This is her festival. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
we're all like kids on a roller coaster right now. I just can't wait. It's like, come on, drop already, Let's go.
So, yes, I'm so excited.
So, but the concept is good. Everybody's going to love it.
I hope so.
They will. And if not, we love it. That's all that matters.
I know. I put a lot of heart and soul into it.
Yes.
So, even if it doesn't really...
It shows, though. It
does.
All three girls were great in it. The chemistry that y'all had, you and Nick with everybody. Everything just...
flowed.
Went perfect. There was, shooting, even though we had to pick up some shots almost a year later when you're dealing with an 8-year-old, that's risky.
Yeah.
Because they grow and they change. But even doing that, it's just still, there was no bumps, there was no drama, there was no, it was very
Nick is very
stress-free.
Yeah, he's very well at putting people back into a place.
Yeah.
What he says and how he says it. And, just watching Nick, he's very good at bringing that back to life in their minds for them. In a simple way, but he's really good.
Yeah, he's a very great director.
Yes,
he's gonna,
director.
If he ends up doing more films like he wants to do, like I'm very excited to see his career and where it goes. Mm-hmm. Because like when we both started working together, when he came in at the station, and I got to sit down with him and be in a couple planning meetings on a spot to work together. Being in the planning stages and seeing where it could have gone and where he was planning, I was like, okay, this is a guy that's got something. And I was like, we need to definitely work on something together. And so, thankfully we've worked on, I got to help out on a couple, stuff with him, projects at work. And on one in particular, we ended up winning an Emmy for it. So I was so excited.
The weather.
Yeah, the weather spot. And then, Maddy was in something.
Maddy was in
that Super Bowl commercial.
Super Bowl commercial.
Yes. That was huge.
That was awesome. I didn't, I'm not a big football fan. I don't watch football a lot. But all I want to see was my daughter on Super Bowl. That was it. That was it for me. That was the highlight of the game right there.
And
you could have turned it off.
They made us wait till 2 minutes into the fourth quarter to air the commercial.
But that's when all the eyeballs were.
Yeah, but man, that was the highlight of the Super Bowl for me. It's just the feeling of just seeing your own daughter on TV like that. As a father, it's like, wow.
How does that hit y'all? Having this child that's so young, but has hit like all these big.
We record them all, and it's crazy too because sometimes she'll be out doing her thing, and we don't even know that she's being recorded. And we woke up on New Year's morning and we're watching TV, and Channel 4. She went and did a Toys for Tots thing with Emerald City at Lava Cantina because one of her friends is in the band and she's performed with the band before, dances and whatever. And she went and took her $40 that she had and bought toys in a bag and took them with us because if you brought a toy, you got in free. And it's like, we'll take the toys. Had no idea. She's dressed up in her little Christmas candy cane outfit. We're watching TV and they're doing a thing about Fox 4 and the Marines and Toys for Tots, and we look up and Maddy Lea's on the TV.
I'm like, oh wow.
I was like, when did they shoot that? I didn't even know.
And the crazy thing with Maddy, we have not really pushed our daughter out there with auditions and pushed her through all the stuff that it's just like, it comes to her. It's just magical. It really is.
And
it's
we still get excited every time we see her on TV. My DVR is 50% full and there's nothing on it, but there's like 2-hour shows, but it has her 15-second commercial in it, so we can't delete it.
The Great Wolf Lodge commercial, I had a friend in California, well, it was her aunt, that messaged her and said, I just seen Maddy on TV.
At midnight.
So I stayed up and I was falling asleep in between. I would rewind and fast forward and rewind and fast forward just to see the commercial. 5:58. I remember the time. There it was. It finally come on. So the whole family sit in the bed. Wake up my daughter. She looks up, looks at the TV and goes, oh, okay. And goes back to sleep. So me and Mom watched it 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
So she's seen it a couple of times on TV and I figured her reaction would just be totally different than what it was. Because she was just like, oh, okay. As soon as that girl seen her commercial on Disney Channel, she flipped.
Yeah.
That was the trigger.
Disney Channel.
That was the trigger. She was running around. I want Disney. I want Disney. I want Disney. That was the trigger for her.
Wow.
Was Disney.
But yeah, that was a long night.
That's
That was a long night.
She won't even tell her friends.
No, she will
on
not.
Xbox and things
No.
what she does. Because she says she doesn't want them to like her because she's on TV.
Right.
So she doesn't tell them.
But that's
so
not
people,
from us.
People
That's,
are very shocked.
well, that's not from us saying, hey, don't tell. That is actually my daughter the way she is.
yeah,
You know,
just,
she- 'cause
she just don't.
She'll be like, Daddy,
won't
no, don't
people.
tell nobody. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
She's a very modest person.
And surprisingly, most people, because they did her hair differently in the Great Wolf Lodge commercial, don't recognize her
Yeah, she's happy about
without
that.
her shaved head. So
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
recognize her. So, she'll tell a few people and they're like, no, you're lying.
She'll flip her hair over. See, it's me.
It is me. But yeah, it was, she's gotten to where now she gets recognized when we go places from doing stuff. And I mean, I kind of liked it better when it was always she was haunting or, doing
Well, she had makeup on.
cosplay.
Yeah.
She was scary. Nobody knew who she was
So.
for like 3 years. Nobody knew who she was.
Well, it just, like I said earlier, it's just, you really have to watch your kids. When they get in the public eye more and more, that's the downfall of all this.
Right.
It's a total different
There's
ballgame.
weirdos.
Yeah.
There's weirdos and everything, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just the whole advent of social media too.
Yes.
Social media
And
is
how
a
that's
mother's
grown.
nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
I give social media a lot. She, has a lot of followers.
Mhm.
And in those followers, I would say 90% of them are very supportive of her. They support her, they comment, that she's
Yeah.
pretty, her costumes are great. But there are those few that, can be scary, even on social media. And even with her social
Called the
media,
block button.
it plainly states that it's a mom-managed account.
Yes.
They will still send messages. People will send
That's not
messages
appropriate.
to a 9-year-old child that's just inappropriate to send an adult. So it is very scary. I wouldn't let my kid have their own social media accounts until they're old enough to handle it themselves, which in my opinion would be 16, 17 years old. Because there are those that, we've even had a couple.
But this day and age with Facebook and Instagram and everything like that, you could not keep your kid's face off of
Right.
Facebook or Instagram anymore because it's a family thing. It's like, hey, did you see the photo of so-and-so? It's not like the phone calls anymore. Let me mail you a picture.
That's
you know what I'm talking
yeah.
about, like in our day. But now, if you want to show your kid, I mean, anybody can tap into your Facebook nowadays.
Yeah.
So with that, I don't agree with that.
Well, you have to be, there's the difference between tapping into your Facebook that's, private things with your family and only your friends, where Maddy is a public figure.
Right.
And
But her face still pops up.
being a public figure, more of the, more people have
Access.
means to access her, I guess they're thinking that we're stupid and she has her own 9-year-old Instagram account that they can direct message her.
It's ridiculous.
Sorry, no.
Well, that's the pros and cons.
Deny.
For my family,
Yeah.
that's the big thing. I mean, other than that, just let your children blossom. Have fun, enjoy it, stay off of them. They know what they're doing if they're acting already. And they don't need your help. They need somebody outside to help them because they're not going to listen to you. They already know what they're doing. They just need guidance from people that are like them.
Yeah.
And, I've learned that. That's been hard for a dad, to try to, relate with your child in certain aspects, and you can't do it. They need somebody that are like them, creative, very, this, that, and the other, that has the same ambitions or the same thoughts or the same, worldly ideas, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just, photographers are the same way, they stick together, So I love the arts. Let's just put that because anybody can be anybody in the arts, and 90% of the times it's not being judged.
Yeah.
They're very supportive. Dance, acting, film, anything. I mean, it's very supportive culture for me. And I used to be on the outside of that because I was baseball, sports and everything like that. And, everybody that was doing photography and stuff were the geeky kids, And here I am now looking into it and going, I missed out on a lot of things. I'm 41. I should have been doing this kind of stuff because I have more fun with this than I did throwing 94-mile-an-hour fastballs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, she's enlightened me a lot with this. So, but, oof.
But
You need an outside source.
Yeah.
It takes a village.
Yes.
It does take a village to raise a child, and
that's
also to
one-
make.
It takes a village. And luckily...
And that's
Films.
one thing too. You support your child around good people, not fast talking people that I can get you this, and let's do that. And we've been around a lot of people like that.
Yeah, luckily,
You get your support group.
Yeah.
The right people. Take it slow. She's 9 years old. Take it slow. And then build from there. Because I hear horror stories from people all the time. Well, he said he was going to do this, and
Yeah, we've been very careful to the village that we have put together to help Maddy with her career.
One by one.
And very proud of that. That there's
Yes.
not anybody in her circle, you included, that we don't trust, with our child.
That's right.
And that's one of the big, that would be my biggest advice to parents is make your village and the core group of people that is helping your child with your career, people that you know and trust. Because it only takes one bad apple that can ruin your child's career. No fault of theirs or their talent or the parents, but it only takes one. So
Yeah, you don't have to be blood to be family.
We've been very careful and we've been very lucky.
Yes, we've been very lucky, very blessed.
That we've done it because, Allura was only the second short film that she had done. And the first short film that she did, we knew the director personally for years. But we knew the director for years, so going in with y'all was a new experience for us because this was directors and writers and producers that we'd never met before. And we got really lucky.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Because now we have great friends out of, the writer and the director, but, it just seemed to all fall into place.
Well, Nick's seen how antisocial Maddy was when he first met her. Did he tell you about that?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, she wouldn't talk to
Starbucks
him.
Sunday,
She wouldn't do
look at it,
anything.
yeah.
So he got a glimpse. And my daughter's still that way to a certain
can
degree.
be.
She's still that way to a certain degree.
Yeah, she can be.
So,
Yeah.
but,
And I guess we'll kind of end on that. So I'm real excited for everybody to come out and see the movie.
Yes.
If people want to follow Maddy on social,
Media.
what are those?
Her Facebook and Instagram are both Maddy Lea, Lea, a.k.a. Lil Beastie.
Check her out.
You can check her out.
Very cool. And
Check out her cosplay.
the cosplay is amazing. If you haven't seen her Pennywise, and then I saw some stuff yesterday where her Belle costume, I thought that was something that was store-bought or something.
Oh, no.
But wow.
No.
that's
did it.
8 hours. 8 hours
Yeah.
of being made, yes.
I guess real quick, like what, does she come up with those ideas? And then
We talk about it. Pennywise was 100% her idea. I'll mention things to her that I think, obviously some of the characters a 9-year-old would come up with would not be appropriate for a 9-year-old. I try to do her costumes like she does Pennywise, but technically it's Penny, which is, if Pennywise had a little girl, this is what she would look like. So we try to keep within the realm of what's appropriate for a 9-year-old. I mention them to her. I mean, of course she wants to do Disney Princess.
of course.
But most of hers that she wants to do are pretty dark, like the Evil Queen and Pennywise. Mostly villains.
She loves the haunt genre.
Yeah,
Let's just-
mostly villains as far as cosplay. But yeah, she helps choose what she's gonna be, and
Every con, she decides what she's going to wear.
yeah.
Mama just puts
Then
them
we make
together.
it. We
She brings them to
photograph
life.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
But she brings her own character. See, like that character down there, you know. But no, with her cosplay, it's a team. Her mama makes the outfit, and Maddy makes a character for it.
Comes to life, yeah.
And that's amazing to watch, because without a dress, or with a dress, it's just a dress. You know, without the dress, Maddy's just an actress without it. So put them together, it's a great team. You know, it works out great.
That's the podcast. Thank you again to Maddy Lea and her parents for sitting down with me. It was a blast working with such a sharp, talented individual. Do not forget to follow her on social. I know she's going to go very far. And in fact, she has one last message for you.
Go see Laura! Yeah!
Thanks, Maddy. Don't forget to pick up tickets to the screening of Allura at the 2019 Denton Black Film Festival. We'd love to see you out there, and come say hi after the screening. Keep up with the Avert Your Eyes podcast, or check out past episodes by visiting our website, avertyoureyespod.com. There you'll find everything you need to subscribe to the podcast, with links to Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, and so much more. Go to www.avertyoureyespod.com. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Michael Gibson Jr., and until next time on the Avert Your Eyes podcast, consider yourself warned.